I've been using Google Fi, formerly called Project Fi, for the last 3+ years, and today I'm going to give you a full review, what it is, how much it costs, how much it has costed me, and who this is for. Let's go ahead and take a look. First, Google Fi is Google's own network. Well, not really. It's a network that runs on top of T-Mobile, Sprint, and US Cellular. If you use smartphones such as a Pixel 3, a Moto G6, LG V35, LG G7, Moto X, or any of the Pixel smartphones designed for the Fi network, they're capable of switching between all 3 networks, and your phone will automatically switch between 3 networks depending on your coverage and strength. In a sense, you get multiple networks in one, but in my personal experience, it mostly stays on T-Mobile, which gets more coverage where I live. However, if you live where Sprint has better coverage, your phone may be on Sprint most of the time. For coverage, I would really check how good coverage is in your area on Google's website. Google Fi can also now be used on all smartphones, but you'll most likely be stuck on T-Mobile all the time unless you use a fully compatible Google Fi smartphone. You can check that on Google Fi website. I'll put the link in the description. Second, how much does Google Fi cost? For a single line, it is $25 a month for unlimited text and calls along with free international edge data, same as T-Mobile, on 170 plus countries when traveling abroad, with 20 cents per minute on voice calls. For 4G LTE data, it is $10 per gigabyte, and if you don't use up all of it, Google only charges you exactly how much data you used. For example, in December 2017, I used 0.636 gigabytes of 4G LTE data, and Google charged me exactly $6.36. Now, for a single line, if you go over 6 gigabytes, it's free after that, so no matter what, you won't pay more than $60 per month in case you go over. If you go over 15 gigabytes, they will throttle you, but pretty much, it's like $60 for 15 gigabytes. Not bad at all. If you had a second line like I did earlier this year to add my daughter's phone, it'll cost you $15 a month extra per month per line. Data is still $10 per gigabyte, and my overage is now at 10 gigabytes per month, which means if I go over 10 gigabytes on both lines, rest will be free. October of this year, it cost me $51.66 for 2 lines. Me and my daughter Peony use total of 1.08 gigabytes of 4G LTE data, costing us $10.81 for data. Now, who is Google Fi for? Who needs this? Well, I am super high on Android, and I actually have at least one line on every carrier including AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, and Google Fi. The reason I got Google Fi was for the extra line, not really for the data, as I wanted to use my Google Voice number with Google Fi. I also do have unlimited 4G LTE data on both T-Mobile and Verizon, which I use mostly for work when I travel and have to upload 4K YouTube videos on the go. The Google Fi is my extra number that I use again mostly for calls, and I also wanted to test out Google Fi network. Google Fi is designed for people who are actually not using 4G LTE data too much. So for example, I work from home. I am mostly on Wi-Fi. I don't use too much data unless I'm on Wi-Fi. If you tend to be one of those people that are mostly on Wi-Fi at home and at work, you absolutely don't use more than a few gigs of data per month, Google Fi can possibly save you a bunch of money every month. If you use a lot of data, you might be better off with an unlimited plan on another carrier. Again, compare the $60 a month for 15 gigabytes to another carrier, and you will have your answer. Another reason I got Google Fi was so I can forward my Google Voice number to 6 of my other lines, as I own a lot of smartphones. Google Fi has very easy call forwarding that I can easily set up online with no extra fees. Also, when you use Google Fi, you can receive all your SMS messages using Google Hangouts app, which means you can access your SMS on your PC, Android smartphone, and even iPhone, so long as you have Hangouts app installed. This makes it easy when I have to text people while on my PC, block spam calls. I don't have to pick up my phone, I just do it on my PC. Another really cool feature of Google Fi is that you can instantly pause your 4G LTE data or pause service. If you're leaving the country for 6 months and absolutely don't need to keep your service on, you can simply pause it for 6 months and not have to pay monthly fees. Think of it almost like advanced prepaid plan. Also, if you have kids that are on your plan like myself, you can instantly pause their 4G LTE data or voice if they're using too much, or perhaps they got grounded. Also, if you use phones designed for the Fi network such as a Pixel 3 with eSIM capability, you can easily switch numbers to another phone by simply logging into your Google account. Since I review phones and sometimes I need to switch between my Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL, I can move numbers between the two in less than a minute. eSIM makes it simple to move numbers and you don't have to fiddle with tiny SIM cards. Overall, Google Fi is going to be great for those of you who don't use a lot of 4G LTE data, or for those of you who are in the US only a few months out of the year. You can save big since you have a load of options and you only pay for the data you use. Again, Google Fi is now available for all smartphones. You can order a free SIM card for phones that don't have an eSIM. If you have been using another carrier and paying too much for the data you don't use, definitely check out the Google Fi network and it may save you some money. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. Use the comment section below or our High on Android forum and I would be happy to answer all of your questions. I hope this video helps you in choosing your next carrier, and as always, stay on Android.
Click here.